Katie Price, the iconic former Glamour model known for her unapologetic presence in the public eye, has once again captured global attention, this time not for her glamorous lifestyle or entrepreneurial ventures, but for a deeply personal and courageous act of disclosure. In a moment that left audiences breathless and supporters worldwide in awe, Price publicly named the British TV star she accuses of raping her over 20 years ago. This revelation, delivered during a live event, marks a pivotal turning point in her long journey of healing and advocacy, shattering years of secrecy and sparking vital conversations about trauma, justice, and the power of speaking one's truth. The event in question was an intimate yet electrifying gathering titled, An Evening with Katie Price and Kerry Katona, where the two longtime friends and fellow media personalities shared stories, laughter, and raw vulnerability with a live audience. As the evening unfolded, the atmosphere shifted dramatically when Price, with a steely resolve etched across her face, decided it was time to unveil a name she had guarded like a fortress for decades. The room fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air like a storm cloud finally breaking. This wasn't a scripted moment or a publicity stunt. It was the culmination of internal battles fought in quiet corners of her life, battles that many survivors of sexual assault know all too well, the relentless tug-of-war between fear and the burning need for accountability. For Price, this disclosure isn't just a personal catharsis, it's a beacon for others navigating similar shadows. Over the years, she has built a reputation as a resilient figure, rising from the pages of tabloids to become a multifaceted icon. A mother of 5, an author, a businesswoman with her own lines of fashion and beauty products, and an outspoken advocate for mental health and disability rights. Yet, beneath the glamour and the headlines, Price has carried the invisible scars of multiple traumatic experiences, including assaults that she first hinted at publicly more than a decade ago. Her decision to name her alleged attacker now, after holding back for so long, underscores a profound evolution in her approach to her past. It's a declaration that silence, while sometimes a shield, can no longer contain the fire of justice she seeks. Reflecting on the lead-up to this moment, sources close to Price have revealed that the idea of going public had been simmering for quite some time. Last year, amid the ongoing ripple effects of the #MeToo movement, which empowered countless women to share their stories without shame, she confided in those around her that the timing felt right. Katie thinks now is the time, one insider shared. She has nothing to lose. After all the #MeToo stuff, she thinks if other people have revealed their sex attackers, why can't I? This sentiment captures the essence of a cultural shift where survivors are no longer isolated voices but part of a chorus demanding change. Price's readiness to join that chorus reflects not just personal growth but a broader societal encouragement for transparency, even when it invites scrutiny or backlash. Price's first foray into discussing her experiences with sexual violence came in 2009, in a poignant column for a popular magazine. At the time, the context was deeply personal and fraught with irony. She was responding to baseless accusations leveled against her then-partner Alex Reid, regarding his involvement in a film depicting sexual violence. The allegations stung not because of their inaccuracy, but because they trivialized a horror Price knew intimately. In her words, penned with raw emotion, she laid bare a piece of her soul. Rape is a subject very close to my own heart. I was raped when I was younger more than once. I had never been associated with anything or anyone so sick. This was no casual admission. It was a deliberate act of defiance against the very accusations that sought to undermine her credibility. Continuing in that column, Price delved deeper, explaining the compulsion to speak out. I have never talked about this before, but I feel I have to now because I was so hurt by these accusations that I would not take a subject, which affects so many women, seriously. Her vulnerability here is striking. A woman who had built her career on bold, unfiltered personas, now exposing the fragility beneath. She didn't stop at sharing her pain, she extended a lifeline to others, urging, I urge any woman who has been affected by rape and needs help to talk to somebody they trust about it. This call to action, simple yet profound, highlighted Price's innate empathy. Even in her moment of hurt, she prioritized the collective healing of women everywhere, recognizing that shared stories dismantle isolation. Fast forward to more recent years, and Price's narrative of trauma expanded in heartbreaking detail through her 2022 documentary, Trauma and Me. In this unflinching exploration of her life, she recounted yet another assault, a harrowing carjacking in South Africa in 2018, during which she was raped at knife point. The documentary didn't shy away from the graphic realities, the terror, the violation, the long shadow it cast over her sense of safety. Price described waking up in a foreign land, far from home, only to face an unimaginable nightmare that stripped away layers of her hard-earned confidence. It was like reliving hell, she later reflected in interviews tied to the film. This second revelation added layers to her story, illustrating how trauma can compound, turning one wound into a tapestry of enduring pain. Yet, through it all, Price has demonstrated an extraordinary capacity for resilience. The South African incident, in particular, thrust her into a media frenzy, but she channeled that attention into advocacy. She spoke at length about the inadequacies of support systems for survivors abroad, the cultural stigmas that silence victims, and the psychological toll of reliving events for legal or public scrutiny. In Trauma and Me, she collaborated with experts to unpack the science of trauma, how it rewires the brain, triggers fight-or-flight responses long after the danger has passed, and intersects with other challenges like her battles with ADHD, PTSD, and body dysmorphia. Price's willingness to bear these intersections humanizes her, transforming her from a tabloid fixture into a relatable warrior. Naming her alleged attacker from over 20 years ago during the live event wasn't an impulsive act. It was the fruit of years of therapy, self-reflection, and feminist awakening. The British TV star in question, whose identity now hangs in the public discourse like a thunderclap, represents not just a personal villain but a symbol of unchecked power in the entertainment industry. Price's accusation details a nightmarish encounter in her youth, when she was navigating the precarious early days of her modeling career, vulnerable, ambitious, and trusting in spaces that often preyed on such naivety. The assault, she alleges, occurred in a setting that should have been safe, twisting a moment of professional opportunity into lifelong torment.